Well, welcome to the call, everyone. My name is Dr. Curt Ficenec, and tonight I'm going to talk about some information that, I've been thinking about for a while, and I kind of put it all together this morning, and that's just it's a subject kind of on the subject of wellness. I'll talk a little bit about diabetes, and I'm going to talk a little bit about weight loss. I'm going to talk about a few other things. So, Katie, I know you're in the background there. Welcome to the call, and we'll get this thing rolling.
Okay, great. Fire away, Dr. Curt.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, taking the time to listen to this audio. I'm going to try and keep it as short as I can. It's a lot of information. I'm going to pack it into just a really short period of time. Bottom line is this, up here in the United States, where I'm at, we're seeing TV commercials. But every other TV commercial is an advertisement for a drug that is called a GLP agonist, a GLP-1 agonist, and basically it's a chemical that your body makes naturally, but they found that this diabetes drug caused this to be stimulated in your body, and then as a result of it, they were finding that people were losing weight. I don't think it's all that much weight. They said 10% over a period of a year, but then if you ever go off the drug, you gain all the weight back. And then on top of it, the drug has side effects. One of the side effects is that some people might end up with permanent diarrhea, something that they can never heal up. How'd you like to get that, Katie? How'd you like to have permanent diarrhea that you're never going to have control of your bowels ever again in your life?
Yeah, it's just really not worth it, is it?
No, especially when you know that your body can build it. So I'm gonna just say this. Have you ever been on antibiotics? The answer is yes. Everybody's been on antibiotics at least once in their life. Did your doctor ever tell you, hey, when you get done with this course of antibiotics, I want you to take a course of probiotics? And the answer to that is no, and the doctors don't do that. Although I'm starting to hear there are some doctors that are doing it, but for the most part, the answer is no. So people have been on a course of antibiotics, and they didn't follow that with a course of probiotics. So what ended up happening is that those antibiotics, they don't just go after, they don't just target the bad bacteria. They go after every bacteria in your body. Well, in your gut, you have healthy bacteria in there. And that healthy bacteria is what makes your gut so that it'll absorb certain things and it'll pass certain things through. It's what makes it so it's semi-permeable, which means that things don't just pass through. Like if I eat a steak, it's not just, I'm not going to chew it up and then boom, it's going to go into my system. No, it's got to digest. It's got to be broken down into the basic amino acids before it can be broken down. But if you've been on a course of antibiotics and you didn't take any probiotics afterwards, it can lead to the fact that it'll break down the good bacteria in your gut, and all of a sudden you're going to get something that's called leaky gut syndrome. And when you have leaky gut syndrome, now that steak that I just ate, as my example, before it even gets digested, broken down into those amino acids, my body will start absorbing some of the protein. It's called incompletely broken down proteins, ICPs, and they're larger particles. But what happens is that when it enters the system, your immune system says, hey, that's not supposed to be there. And so your body starts to attack it. Well, Katie, if it does that, your immune system is pretty smart. It's designed to be pretty smart. And what if that protein that your immune system just attacked, what if it looks like the protein that's in your say in your heart? Right?
Yeah,
what's it going to do?
Yeah, that's a problem because it's not going to know the difference. And so then is it going to attack your heart as well?
There you go. It's going to attack your heart muscle. And that's a pretty extreme example, but it does happen. And that's why I'm trying to get people to think about this is that, what about allergies and asthma and ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease and all these other, different kinds of what we call autoimmune disorders. There's like 85 listed that they have names. They've named them as autoimmune disorders, 85 of them, Katie. And you think about that, So here we have a system in your body that you go on an antibiotic, you don't take a probiotic, and it can trigger these autoimmune conditions. But the other thing is that 70% of your immune system is also found in your gut. A lot of your serotonin levels are stored in your gut. And so we can see depression, we can see all these different things. But here's something that I just started putting together in the last couple of months, when they started really advertising this GLP-1 agonist, and up here in the United States, we'll see them. We'll see, the one that's on TV all the time is Ozempic. They've got their own little song. You see bunch of people dancing around and having a great old time, and most of them on the commercial are overweight, and they're advertising this for weight loss. And it's a GLP-1 agonist. Again, it's got side effect, but what they don't tell you is that your body makes this GLP-1. And how do you do it? Well, you fix the gut lining. That's the simplest way of saying you fix the gut lining, because what happens is these probiotics, and we've heard of prebiotics, right? Probiotics are the healthy bacteria. Prebiotics are the indigestible fiber that your body takes in, like chicory and things like that your body can't digest. But these probiotics, they use that for food. They use that for fuel, and it breaks it down. And then when it gets down, breaking it down, and you got a healthy microbiome, which is the environment inside your gut. When you have a healthy microbiome and you have the prebiotics and the probiotics, what happens is the bacteria, as they break down that fiber, they form something called postbiotics. Katie, have you ever heard of postbiotics?
No, I haven't. Oh, post. Post?
Postbiotics. So it's after your healthy bacteria has digested that undigestible fiber, it makes things like butyrate, right? We've heard of butyrate.
Yeah.
It's what's in our product right here, Sisel Thin, right? Mm-hmm. Hydroxybutyrate. But our body actually makes that. It's from the metabolism that your body does when that bacteria breaks down that fiber. Then it forms these butyrates. And the butyrates, the postbiotics, what they do is they stimulate the body with the GLP-1 agonist.
Right.
Right? You see the link there?
Mm-hmm.
You see the link? So maybe that's why we have so many people that are overweight. They say, what is it? 70 to 80% of Americans are overweight right now, with over 50% of us being what we consider to be obese, right? Which is extremely overweight.
Yeah, it's a high percentage of the population.
And I know that they're saying now that obesity has actually become a global problem. It's not just in the United States. They used to always laugh at Americans and say, oh, that's just an American problem. Well, now it's a problem. It's a problem in China. It's a problem all over the world. They say it's a global pandemic disease.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So
yeah.
Can
I just say something there? Can I interrupt you? Hopefully continue your train of thought. With people having, issues with their weight, managing their weight, being overweight, that underpins their overall health. It's just so important. And, then you start getting all these other issues with high blood pressure, sleep issues, depression, and people go, I don't understand what's going wrong. I've got all these issues going on. But actually, if they got back to the basics and address their weight, a lot of these issues will just fall away.
That's right. Right. And cancer rate. I was just reading last night that they're saying that cancer rates for people under the age of 45 is skyrocketing. They're saying that those cancer rates are skyrocketing. And they say that the cancer rates for people under the age of 45 is going to continue to skyrocket. They figure until the year 2045. For another 20 years, they think that the cancer rates in young people is going to keep going up, because, they're saying they don't really have a handle on it. They don't know why. But at the same time, look at the obesity rates. The obesity rates is 70%. Look at the rates. And I used to teach this in classes way back in my clinic 20 years ago. I used to teach, what's the percentage of people that have digestive problems, Katie?
80% at least.
80%. Boom, you got that. You hit it right on the number. 80% of people have digestive problems. Start looking at that. Cancer rates are going up. Cancer rates are related to, toxins and things like that. Obesity rates 70%, maybe even closer to 80% now. And it's all linked to the gut. And gut health has been bad for the last 20 years. What if we fix the gut?
Overall health, weight would start to fall off, mood would improve, energy levels improve, a whole bunch of things would get better.
Right? And you take a look at the drug companies, they're smart. What they did is they started looking at, what was popular. Well, the ketogenic diet was popular. People started doing a lot of keto diet, eating low carbohydrates, high fat. And so when you do it, when you take a product like Sizzle Thin, right? When you take a product like Sizzle Thin, you can't see it on the screen, it keeps blurring it out, but it's got the butyrates, which stimulates ketogenesis, which stimulates your body to burn fat, right? It's got butyrates. Well, what were we talking about? The postbiotics are the butyrates. And that stimulates the GLP-1. So all the drug companies did is they figure out how do we bypass everything that's natural, and why don't we just give people the GLP-1 agonist?
Yeah, wow.
Okay, I'm not your doctor, Katie. I'm not any of your doctors. Anybody that's listening to this, I'm not your doctor. I can't tell you what to do. If you're taking a drug, I can't tell you not to take the drug. If your doctor tells you to take it, I can't tell you not to take it. You got to go talk to your doctor. I'm not your doctor. And you got to figure this out. But what I'm saying is that what if we could fix that whole system and we could get it so it's working right? So I'm going to kind of wrap this all up, Katie, because I know we try and do these calls really quickly with people, but I want to get it so that it's thorough, so people think about it. Go back and listen if you've missed anything here. But so first step is we have to get you to go on a diet that's what we call anti-inflammatory diet. Look it up on the internet. Come up with an anti-inflammatory diet. And what you're going to find is that you're going to cut back on the sugars. You're going to go more, I'm not going to say keto, but you're going to go kind of lean that way a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to start changing the fats that you're taking into your body. You're going to have good fats versus bad fats, good carbs versus bad carbs, things like that. But at the same time, what I want you to do is I want you to add some probiotics, acidophilus. And I mean, that's the one that everybody's heard of, but there's so many more. And if you look at the Sizzle Balance D, that's the product that I use. That's the product that I try and get my patients to take. That's one I have my dad taking. Anybody that's been on a course of antibiotics, I get them to take the Balance D because it's got a lot of great strains of probiotics in it, but it also has the prebiotics. It's got chicory, it's got other things in it that are prebiotic. So that's the food that the good bacteria use to build themselves up. And so now you get your system so that you're building up the good bacteria. Yeah. And then the good bacteria fight off the bad bacteria. Katie, that's important. Isn't that important?
Yeah, it's critical for overall health.
You bet it is. And then now we got to go back at this system. Remember what I said is that what ends up happening is that if you have this imbalance in your microbiome for a period of time, pretty soon those junctions, the gaps between the cells, your cells in your gut fit together like this. And what ends up happening is that when you're on antibiotics for a long period of time, they start to spread out like this. They kind of unzip. Think of it like a zipper. So it starts to unzip. So we want to take and we want to zip that back together. Well, what product do I advocate for that? This one right here. Katie, can you see that?
Yeah, collagen B3, Sizzle's collagen B3. Yeah, it's a bit blurry because of the screen.
There, you can see it once in a while when it flashes on the screen. But it's collagen B3. And a lot of people that tell me, they say, well, I'm already taking a collagen product. Well, chances are most of the collagen that you're taking is going to be a collagen type 2. Great for the joints if you have arthritis in your hands, things like that. Perfect. That's what you want to be on. But the type of collagen that you want to be on that's going to help the gut is the type 1 and the type 3. So collagen B3, it's got 3. It's got type 1, 2, and 3. And it's got them in high enough amounts that it's actually going to make a difference. Some people, they fairy dust it, they put a little bit in there and they say, oh, it's in there. We actually put the therapeutic amount in it. And so when you take the collagen type 1 and type 3, it actually heals up those guts. It zips it back together, Katie.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really important to look after the lining of the gut for overall health.
There you go. And then you get on the Sizzle Thin. I don't know why
Great
my screen
combination. There's a one,
Sizzle
two,
Thin.
three right there. I can see that now. Yeah, so that's a
Yep.
great combination of products. 1, 2, 3 products.
Because the Sizzle Thin has the hydroxy butyrate in it, and the butyrate. Now, what that'll do is that'll stimulate these GLP-1 agonists, and that's going to help, and that's going to do the job. And I can't make any medical claims. Again, I'm not your doctor. I'm not a medical drug company. I can't make those kind of claims. But all I'm saying is that look at the science. Look at the science. I'll send out an email later with it, and I'll try and include some links to some science so you can see what I'm talking about. And maybe it's the answer. Maybe it's it. To me, when you look at the numbers, 80% of people have gut problems. They've had 80%. It's been 80% for like 20 or 30 years, right? From way back when I had my clinic, I used to talk about the 80% of people had digestive problems. Now we're seeing that 70 to 80% of people are overweight, right? Look at that. Same number, pretty much, same numbers. And now they're saying that by the year 2050, they're saying that over half the population is going to be clinically depressed, right? Again, I said serotonin is stored right around the gut lining, right? So your serotonin levels drop. This is all related. And now since this pandemic, all of a sudden, Katie, I'm seeing everybody developing autoimmune diseases. Everybody's developing if they didn't have one before the pandemic, they got one now.
Yeah, and there's some theories on why that's also happening too, but we won't cover that today.
We won't even get into that. But chances are a lot of people got the jab. A lot of people were on antibiotics, just as a preventative type things. I know a lot of people who their doctor just said, here, have these at home. If you feel something coming on, just take a couple, and they just kind of gave it as a prophylactic rather than as a treatment. And there's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. And, so what if we just go about this in a different way and we say, hey, why don't we go back and fix the system and get your body to do what it's supposed to do? Maybe, and I'm going to use the word maybe because I can't make any medical claims. I can't say, oh, it'll fix you. All I can say, maybe it'll help.
Fantastic.
You
Great 3 products there. They work synergistically together to create a really powerful effect, as Dr. Curt's outlined today. So if you're looking for some products to support you on your weight loss journey, on your weight loss maintenance, those are the 3 that are really great to take.
All right. Have a great night. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.